welcome back to my YouTube channel. Salma here, and it's cold. We're just trying to keep ourselves warm, so don't mind with my jacket, my cap, please. What is important is the content. Right, I hope you guys have watched the previous videos, because it's a continuation of the oral coaching, if I'm to say. Right, and as per the title, you guys, we have a huge discussion today. We are going to discuss about the 7 sections of the oral interview that are presented on the score sheet. Some of you guys might be wondering as to what is a score sheet. What is a score sheet? It's just that paper that the panelists used to have in hand when they're asking questions. So you're supposed to study that score sheet, know what each question is asking you, know how many marks each question has. So basically, the section I'm talking about is just the question. If I'm to say section 1, is just question 1. So just know that question 1 has how many marks, the second one has how many marks, and yeah, you will be good to go. Now, you guys already know, perhaps it could be the novice teachers or the graduates that don't have knowledge on this. So our very first question, or the first section, is the job knowledge question. This question has definitely 25 marks. It's the one that has the most, the highest score. So you have to market yourself, give as many points as you can, express yourself, be free, be confident, and you're good to go. So what is the job knowledge question? This question basically is just designed, it is just designed to determine if you have the knowledge and skills needed for you to perform the job of which you are being considered. Yeah, and I told you guys already, it has 25 marks. 25 marks. Okay, now what are some of the examples of the questions that you can expect in this section? They can ask you, for example, to say, what are the main duties and responsibilities of a teacher? Another question can be, what is a lesson plan and why is it important? Another question can be, what is assessment and why is it important? Another question can be, give 2 documents that you need when planning a lesson. These are just a few. It's just a very few, because you can never trust those guys. They can give you any question they would want to find out from you. So each of the questions I've read here, or any question that falls under the job knowledge question, just know that it has 25 marks. 25 marks. All right, we move on to the second section, or the second question. This is a supervision and leadership. This is even self-explanatory. It's very clear. Supervision and leadership. This one is just it is just testing you as a teacher on how you will supervise, or being a leader, how you are going to enforce the school rules or classroom rules. How are you going to control your learners' behaviors? How are you going to maintain order at school? Yeah. So what are some of the examples or questions that you can expect under this section? They can ask you, for example, how will you discipline a child without enforcing corporal punishment? As you guys know, now the ministry is it has prohibited teachers from beating the learners or enforcing corporal punishment. So even okankawaike. Yeah, so we are trying our best, but then it is what it is. You already know the story. So yeah, the question can be, how will you discipline a child without enforcing corporal punishment, or without hitting them, or without touching their, physically? Another question can be, dealing with issues like learners ending up in the bush. How are you going to go about that? Like you finding out that some learners used to end up in the bush, they don't, and then they go home. How are you going to deal with that? Another question can be, how will you turn your classroom into a conducive environment? Sorry, conducive environment is just a good classroom area where the learners can learn peacefully and all that. I'm going to attend to all these questions in the next video, so just stay tuned and I'll chop it down for you guys. These are just examples of some questions you can expect under the supervision and leadership, right? And I almost forgot, the supervision and leadership question has 20 marks or sometimes 25 marks, it depends. So it's either 20 or 25 marks. So please try your best, market yourself, and don't leave anything. Say out everything you know, just to be on the safe side. Alright, we are moving on to the third section, of which there is a decision making question. This question is just asking or testing you, how will you solve something that happens at that moment, the way you choose to do something, or an act of doing something to solve an issue that just happened at that moment. You did not expect it, or you have not noticed it in the past. So how will you go about it and bring some changes? So the examples of this question can be, while you are teaching, a learner collapsed. How will you go about it? That is something that you did not expect. And yeah, and another question can be, while you are teaching, an angry parent approached you in front of the classroom that you are failing their child. How are you going to go about that issue? Yeah. Okay, another question can be, while you are on your way to the classroom, you found some learners fighting. How will you go about that issue? Another question can be, while you are on the school premises, you found some learners doing sex. For example, maybe behind the classroom or in the classroom. How are you going to go about that issue? Hectic. Okay, so this question has 20 marks, the decision making question. So all in all, this is just something that you did not plan for. It just happened at that moment. So keep that in mind. We are moving on to the fourth section, the fourth question, which is problem solving. Problem solving, this is something that you have observed for a period of time, and it requires you some strategies on solving it. So you have to identify the problem, find the most suitable solution, and most importantly, the way to prevent it from happening in future. So you must get the difference between the decision making question and the problem solving. Decision just happened, you did not plan for it, it just happened at that moment. And then the problem solving, this one has been there, something that you have been observing for a period of time. Okay, so with problem solving, this question just has 10 marks. 10 marks. So try your best, give points, give practical examples that can give you 10 marks on this question. All right, let me give you some examples of the problem solving question. It can be a learner that does not do his or her, a learner that doesn't do his or her homework. How are you going to deal with that issue? The learners that get absent when they know there's a test the next day. So just if you announce that we are having a test or any task the following day, they absent themselves with no valid reason. Another question can be a child that has been performing poorly in a certain subject, for example in mathematics. How are you going to help the child? So those are some of the problem solving questions. And yeah, This question has 10 marks. I already said that, and it's something that has been there for a period of time. We are moving on to the fifth question, and this is interpersonal relationship. This is just the bond between the stakeholders, between the parents, or to say between you and the parents, between you and the learners, between you and your colleagues. Okay, basically here they are just asking you, how are you going to cooperate, how are you going to bring up teamwork among your colleagues, among the learners, among parents. So yeah, in terms of education activities, so human personality is very important for you to be able to answer this question. So what are some of the questions that you can expect under this section? It can be the question can be posed like, how will you promote teamwork at school? Some of you guys might think it's simple, but it's not. When you go there, you're just repeating yourself. You don't even know what to say, so it's best to prepare. The second question that you can be asked is that one of your colleague is mostly under the influence of alcohol. How are you going to help him? Another question can be, how will you encourage parents, or how will you incorporate parents into school activities or into their learners' schoolwork? So don't worry, I'm going to come back to answer all these questions. I'm just trying to clarify and make it clear what each question wants to find out from you. And the interpersonal relationship question has 5 marks, only 5 marks. So don't kill yourself, but it is what it is. Just try your best, and you never know. We are moving on to the second last section, of which this one is a career goal question. Also, this one is self-explanatory. You understand? This one is just testing your future goals and how are you going to influence your colleagues. For example, you yourself going to further your studies, encouraging your colleagues to further their studies as well, the changes you yourself will bring into the education system in years to come. So yeah, you don't just need to sit down and relax with that job. Please try. They want to hear from you as how are you going to bring some changes into yourself and into the school system. Some of the questions that can be posed can be like, where do you see yourself in 5 years to come, or where do you see yourself in 10 years to come? So get yourself an idea. Another question can be, what changes would you bring to our school if you get appointed? So yeah, another question can be, what is success to you, and when would you regard yourself at it? Now let me just repeat it. What is success, and when would you regard yourself at it? Yeah. And the very last question is this one is not really a question, it's just something that is expressed to you. So from today, just bear in mind when you enter the interview room that be careful with your language usage, be confident enough, or simply to say just how you present yourself. And this question or this section is called verbal communication. It's not really something that is asked, it's just the way you present yourself, your language usage, and your confidence, eye contact. Even if you are saying mistakes, just say it out loud. Be confident enough. It might give you marks as well. So the verbal communication question has 5 marks. And just to take you back, the career goal has 5 marks. So pretty the last questions just have 5 marks. So yeah, that's it. In the next video, I'm going to start off by chopping down, guys, each section for you, and put down your questions so that I can look for the answers for you guys. I'll really be happy. I'll be grateful if I'm seeing myself making changes in people's lives. I just don't want to keep knowledge to myself. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and that was the end of my video. Cheers.